feel like I'm missing something. Oh, this one I can actually turn. Mm. Sheesh. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Did you want any more of those cheese sticks? Can you pass me the box? Yeah. It don't even matter. Gracias. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay. Which motherboard component is typically a long horizontal slot closest to the CPU and is commonly used for graphics cards? Is it a DIMM, B, an SATA, C, a PIE 16, or D, a M.2? Which motherboard component is typically a long horizontal slot closest to the CPU and is commonly used for graphics cards? Is it A, the DIMM, B, SATA, C, PCIe 16, or D, M.2? We got one answer in. Oliver, you want to chime in? You want to try? Okay, ready? I heard of M.2 and SATA before. That's excellent. We're going to find out if you're right in about 3 more questions. Question 2. Which motherboard connector is the large 24-pin power connection usually found on the right side of the motherboard? Is it A, an EPS, B, an SATA, C, a Molex, or D, a 24-pin ATX? Which motherboard connector is the large 24-pin power connection usually found on the right edge of the motherboard? Is it A, an EPS, B, an SATA power, C, a Molex, or D, the 24-pin ATX? Alright, we got answers in. I'll see yours. Good. Which motherboard slot is a small flat connector commonly used for NVMe's SSDs? Which motherboard slot is a small flat connector commonly used for NVMe SSDs? Is it A, PCIe 16, B, DIMM, C, M.2, or D, SATA? Which motherboard slot is a small flat connector commonly used for NVMe SSDs? Is it A, a PCIe 16, B, a DIMM, C, an M.2, or D, an SATA? Promises are important. Promises are important. Promises are important. All right. So question, what are we on? 4. Which motherboard slot is typically found in a group of 2 to 4 long vertical connectors near the CPU? Which motherboard slots are usually found in a group of 2 or 4 long vertical connectors near the CPU? We got one answer. Is it A, the PCIe, B, the DIMM, C, the M.2, or D, the SATA? Which motherboard slots are typically found in a group of 2 to 4 long vertical connectors near the CPU? Is it A, the PCIe? Is it B, the DIMM? Is it C, the M.2, or D, the SATA? All right, last one. Which connector provides dedicated power to the CPU and is commonly 4 pins or 8 pins? Which connector provides dedicated power to the CPU and is commonly 4 pin or 8 pins? Is it A, a 24 pin ATX, Is it B, a Molex? Is it C, the EPS? Or is it D, the SATA power? Which connector provides dedicated power to the CPU and is commonly a 4-pin or 8-pin? Is it A, a 24-pin ATX? Is it B, a Molex? Is it C, an EPS? Or is it D, SATA power? SATA power. We got our answers in? I got one here. I got one here. What's up, Kenny? Excuse me. All right, cool, great. Let's see how we did. Talking about stop, I suppose. What's up, Chifa? Dang. Smoking and sipping. You want to play computer trivia? Alright, let's see how we did. It says I got 4 out of 5. So a long horizontal slot closest to the closest to the CPU for graphics cards. The answer is the PCIe 16. Did you get that one? No, you said SATA. So the long horizontal slot closest to the CPU that's used for graphics cards is the PCIe 16. So the PCIe 16 is the longest slot on the motherboard. It's usually the closest to the CPU, which is the central processing unit, and it's used for graphics cards. M.2 is a small flat slot and is used for NVMEs and SSDs. NVMe stands for non-volatile memory expansion slots, or SSDs is solid state drives, so altogether it'll be non-volatile memory expansion solid state drives. It's just two acronyms that were put together. In question 2, a large 24-pin motherboard power connector. The answer is D, a 24-pin ATX. So the 24-pin ATX is what gives the motherboard power. What is a small flat NVMe SSD slot? We just went over that. So NVMe is the non-volatile memory expansion slot. It is used for solid state drives. And so the answer is the M.2, which is that flat connector we were talking about in the previous question. Which one has multiple vertical slots near the CPU? The answer was B, the DIMM. I really keep forgetting what that stands for. Dual inline memory module. Dual inline memory. I know both the M's can't be for memory. It's dual inline memory something. Anyway, Um, them slots, which are slots for additional RAM, they're usually grouped together. So if you see a bunch of long slots, it's the DIMM. Dual inline, so they're all in line. Excuse me. Dedicated CPU power connector, that is the C, the EPS. Moraine Valley, no. Moraine Valley, you got that one right. Oh, what's up, Moraine Valley? How are you? I didn't think that was you. Memory module, thank you. So the EPS supplies power to the CPU specifically, whereas the 24-pin ATX gives power to the motherboard. Excuse me. Okay, cool, great. So the longest slot is for the GPU for the graphics cards. That's the longest slot. That's the PCIe 16. The PCIe is the longest slot on the motherboard. The PCIe 16 is the longest slot on the motherboard and is used for graphics cards. The small flat SSD, the solid state drive slot, is used with, whoa. Oh yeah, because the M.2 is a small slot. It looks like a Laffy Taffy, but a thin, very thin. It looks like what's them Chico stick type of things? It's a long, skinny rectangle. It looks like like the mini Hershey bars. That's what it looks like, but thinner. But you like pop it in there and you lay it down in order to snap it into place. It's the most different. It's the most unique looking component, in my opinion, on the motherboard. So that's why it's easy for me to remember because I know what it looks like. So the M.2 is a small, flat, solid state drive slot. If you see a bunch of vertical lines on a motherboard, what's up, Marquise? If you see a bunch of long vertical, thank you, Oliver. If you see a bunch of long vertical lines on the motherboard, that is the DIMM, the dual inline memory module. I didn't think it was going to be a module, but I was right. Never second guess yourself. Okay. And the big motherboard power, so the one that gives the motherboard power, not the CPU, and that's the 24-pin ATX. I cannot remember what ATX stands for. And the thing that gives the CPU power, not the motherboard. The ATX powers the motherboard, but the EPS powers the CPU. So you know how like the motherboard might have a blinking light or something on it? That's the EPS, not EPS. That's the ATX power in that. But the cord that gives the CPU power is the EPS. Thank you, Marquise. How are you? So far, so good. So the long slot for graphics cards is the PCIe 16. The small flat that looks like a Laffy Taffy, that's the M.2. If you see a bunch of vertical lines all grouped together, that's the DIMM. If you need your motherboard to receive power, that's the 24-pin ATX. If you need to see what gives your CPU power, that's your EPS. I'm already what? What you talking about, Marquise? Okay, bet. All right, let's do it. Next set. Do 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 do. Moraine, I'm surprised you're not asleep. PCIe is the longest slot. And it's used for graphics cards. The M.2 is the vertical slot that works with NVMEs and SSDs. The different components of a motherboard. The DIMM are all the slots that are grouped together. The 24-pin ATX brings power to the motherboard, whereas the EPS, but I don't know where they're located. That's the part that's going to get me, but whatever. We'll get it down. A technician is installing a graphics card into a motherboard. A technician is installing a graphics card into a motherboard. Which slot should be used? Is it A, the DIMM? Is it B, the SATA? Is it C, the PCIe 16? Or is it D, the M.2? A technician is installing graphics cards into a motherboard. Which slot should be used? Is it A, the DIMM? Is it B, the SATA? Is it C, the PCIe 16? Or is it D, the M.2? Okay. Which connector is most likely located near the top left corner of the motherboard and provides power specifically to the processor? Which connector is most likely located near the top left corner of the motherboard and provides power specifically to the processor? Is it A, the 24-pin ATX? B, the SATA? C, the EPS? Or D, the Molex? Which connector is most likely located near the top left corner of the motherboard and provides power specifically to the processor? Is it A, the 24-pin ATX? Is it B, the SATA power? Is it C, the EPS? Or is it D, the Molex? Oh, Lord. Alright, so a technician installs a new NVMe SSD. Which slot type is most likely going to be used? A technician installs a new NVMe SSD. Which slot type is most likely being used? Is it A, the PCI? B, the DIMM? C, the M.2? Or D, the SATA? If a technician installs a new NVMe SSD, which slot type is most likely being used? Is it A, the PCI? B, the DIMM? C, the M.2? Or D, the SATA? Alright, bet. So, which motherboard connector typically supplies power to SSDs and HDDs? Which motherboard connector typically supplies power to SSDs and HDDs? Is it A, the SATA power, B, the EPS, C, the PCIe, or D, the RJ45? Which motherboard connector typically supplies power to SSDs and HDDs? Is it A, the SATA power? Is it B, the EPS? Is it C, the PCIe? Or is it D, the RJ45? Alright, last one. Which motherboard component is usually found as a 2 to 4 long vertical slots next to the CPU socket? Which motherboard component is usually found as 2 to 4 long vertical slots next to the CPU socket? Is it A, the PCIe 16, B, the DIMM, C, the SATA, or D, the M.2? Which motherboard component is usually found as 2 to 4 long vertical slots next to the CPU socket? Is it A, the PCIe 16? Is it B, the DIMM? Is it C, the SATA? Or is it D, the M.2? That was great. You finished the whole thing? Jeez Louise. I finished mine. Ding, ding. Alright, let's see what we got. 4 out of 5. What did I get wrong? What's up, Lone Wolf? Long time no see. great, Lone Wolf. How are you? What's up, Axis? Whoa. Just chilling. That's excellent. Alright. Oh, my silly self. Which connector is most likely located near the top left corner of the motherboard and provides power specifically to the processor? The answer, EPS. I forgot what the E stands for, but the rest of it is power supply. Entry level power supply. Usually a 4-pin or an 8-pin located near the CPU socket, typically the top left area. Provides dedicated power to the CPU. CPU power is EPS. How's the night? So far, so good. How's yours? I need a glasses cleaner. ATX provides power to the motherboard. Oh, but I thought it said the processor. Is that not? Oh, the computer. Okay, processor, not the motherboard. I tweaked. Just chilling. That's excellent. What's chilling? What are you up to? Are the paper towels over by you? Are the paper towels by you? Thank you. Oh, sheesh. Keep going. Okay. So, what's up, John? A motherboard slot that is described as long, horizontal, and commonly used for high bandwidth expansion cards is most likely. What? What the fuck? Why is it doing it like this? Damn, that changed my whole format. Okay. A technician is installing graphics card onto a motherboard. Which slot should be used? The answer, PCIe 16. So the PCIe 16 is the Peripheral Component Interconnect Express. The reason why it says X16 because that's the lane size is commonly used for GPUs. Oh, graphics processing units. So it's a long horizontal slot. It's used for graphics cards and high bandwidth expansion cards. So the DIMM, as we remember, is the dual inline memory module, is used for RAM. The SATA is the Serial Advanced Technology Attachment. That's used for storage devices. So whenever you hear storage, you think SATA. And then the M.2 is a little thing that I was saying before. It was the NVMEs are used with, what was it? NVMEs are used by PCIe for SSD. So whenever you hear HDD, SSD, PCIe, the answer is going to be the M.2. M.2 is a small slot for NVMe SSD Wi-Fi cards. The reason why it's not the right answer is because it doesn't have anything to do with GPUs. Or it's not related to GPUs. So anything that has to do with the GPU, the graphics processing unit, or graphics cards is always going to be the PCIe, the peripheral component interconnect expansion. Did I do that right? This galactical as expression. Peripheral component interconnect express. Peripheral component interconnect express. So which connector is most likely located near the top left corner of the motherboard and provides power specific? Oh, thank you. What's up, New Orleans? Which connector is most likely located near the top left corner of the motherboard and provides power specifically to the processor? It's the EPS, the power supply. The 24-pin ATX powers the motherboard, but it's looking to power the processor, and the processor is the CPU. No, not the CPU, the computer, the processor. Anything trying to process outside the motherboard is the EPS. 24-pin powers the motherboard. 24-pin powers the motherboard. Alright. I just explained that earlier. So EPS is the entry-level power supply. EPS, entry-level power supply. It's 4 pins or 8 pins. It gives the CPU power, and it's usually located near the CPU top left socket. The 24-pin ATX is the Advanced Technology Extended. 24-pin ATX is the Advanced Technology Extended. PCIe is Peripheral Component Interconnect Express. But the ATX is the Advanced Technology Extended. Jeez Louise. Excuse me, that's what gives the main motherboard power. It's usually on the right side. The SATA. Remember, SATA primarily has to do with storage devices. So if it's talking about storage, it's going to be SATA. Storage, SATA. Thank you, New Orleans. Storage, SATA. So the SSDs, it's the solid state drives. The HDDs, it's the hard disk drives. It saves the data by using a spinning disk. So the solid state drive does not move and the HDD moves. So if you ever, hard disk drives have a hard disk and the solid state, it's just a drive. Reads and writes, but it doesn't move. Studying. The Molex helps to connect older peripheral devices like fans and older drives. It's called a legacy connector. So kind of like the Nokia of connectors. Remember Nokia? It's a legacy phone. You like it? Okay, great. Okay, so a technician installs a new NVMe SSD. Which slot type is most likely being used? The answer, M.2. Oh, thanks, man. A technician installs a new NVMe SSD. Which slot type is most likely being used? Now, what I just explained was that little riddle. NVMe's are used with PCIe's for SSDs. NVMe's are used with used by PCIe's for SSDs. That's always going to be M.2. M.2 is PCIe's. Uh, NVMe's next to PCIe's are used for SSDs. Is M.2. So whenever I see anything that has anything to do with non-volatile, oh shit, non-volatile. I know what the fuck this means, but I can't remember right now. Damn, non-volatile something. I just said it earlier. Memory, non-volatile memory express, solid state drives. I think that's what it is. What's an SSD? An SSD is a solid state drive. So I don't know too much about it, but I know that it's for memory. And it doesn't move. Okay, so if you see SSD/HDD, that's solid state drive versus a hard disk drive, which is still a form of memory. It's just they're two different types of memory. Actually, let's dive deeper. Let's dive deeper. I like this. Let's dive a little deeper. Yeah, no, because actually I can't answer your question. My question is, what's the difference between SSD and an HDD? I know what they are, I know what they do, but I really don't know. I don't. Mm-mm. SSD versus HDD, the real difference. This is one of the most important A plus topics, and once you understand the physical difference, the questions become easy. The physical difference is right, exactly. So the SSD is kind of like a flash drive, and an HDD. I'm trying to think. Is that like a fucking floppy disk? I don't know what an HDD is. It describes an HDD like a record player. So yeah, an SSD is like a flash drive. And the HDD is a spinning magnetic platter. And it makes clicking noises because it has moving parts. HDD is slower. HDD, mechanical, magnetic, moving parts. SSD, flash memory, no moving parts, faster. Thank you for that. You see, I'm getting frustrated. You can see it on my face. Okay, so, okay. Okay, so, what are some modern day physical examples? So we can actually, so what are we trying to better understand what it is? Let's see. Let's see. We're gonna find out. Okay. It didn't give me an example. What's up, PJ? It's a floppy drive have a spinning disk? I think it does. You'll find out today. Thank you, I guess. Let's say it's not a floppy drive. So I know it's going to move magnetic disk, spin, stores magnetic data, very small, very slow, right? No, thanks. Um, I still don't fucking know. Let me look it up on Google at this point. It's about to blow me. It literally looks it literally looks like a record player. There we go. That was really easy to understand. There's the actuator arm. What was that called? The the head of it, the spindle, and the platter. Great. Interesting. Okay. So a hard disk drive is basically just it's like it looks like a CD-ROM inside of the. Because it's a storage device, it's connected by SATA cables. Huh. Okay. Hard disk drives and the solid state drives are connected by SATA cables, and they're just which device do you want to use to store storage? I think I'm right. Okay, got it. Okay. I get it now. Wow, that was that easy. That's crazy as hell. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. sitting at the table, minding our black ass business.
Yeah, that's a great pause.
We sit at the table, minding our black ass business, and we had just ordered. We put in a food order for our food. Our drinks had just came. We just started drinking. I got my espresso. I think Mary got a martini, not a martini, margarita, and then Jasmine had got some fruity drink. And as we were drinking and talking, this dude comes up to the table. He was like, "Hey, have you guys known each other a long time? I can tell you guys have known each other for a while." And so I'm kind of like, no. But mind you, it's karaoke. So in the middle of somebody, "Hey, Jules, come up to the stage." It was quiet. As soon as they started singing this shit, I couldn't hear nothing that was going on. So he said, "Hey, you guys know each other for a long time?" I'm looking at them like, "How y'all gonna answer?" We don't say yes. We don't say no. Remember, say, "Yeah, we've known each other for a long time." He was like, "Oh, that's super dope. I'm gonna test the boundaries of your friendship." And so I was like, "What?" So he started singing. After that, he asked the question. I didn't know what was going on, so I'm just nodding, just nodding, looking at his head. I heard him say, "She's fine as hell." He pointed at me, and I was like, "Okay, what is that? Okay, is that what? Did I say what I think he said? Was he trying to holler, shoot a shot at me?"
Most likely, yes.
And he walks away and doesn't come back. And I asked Memory, and they were talking about it, and so I'm trying to listen. I'm like, "What did he say?" He basically walked over here and said, "How long have you guys been friends? I'm gonna test the boundaries of your friendship." And you point to one girl at the group, and you tell them that you think that they're attractive to see if the other people start an argument or something. And I was like, "What do we?" I don't know if that's a thing. That's just what Memory said. Memory said that's a thing that they do at bars and shit.
That is a thing.
And I was
Stupid,
like, yeah, and I was like, what? But yeah, I got used as an example last night.
What was it? There was when I was 22. I was 22, and that was first when I started going to bars, and it was like a pickup bar. So you go there specifically because you're trying to pick up and go home with somebody. That's the type of bar it was downtown. And I went in there, and then there was this guy, and he was I guess he was a regular there, like well dressed, like dressed to the nines, expensive as hell. I was like, I felt cheap being next to him. So he came sat next to me. He's like, "Hey, you're always here, like with the DJ and stuff like that." I was like, "They bring me here after school, so just chilling." And he's like, "I'm gonna teach you the secret." I was like, "The secret of what?" He's like, "Talking to chicks." So I was like, "You talk to chicks?" He's like, "Nah, I'm gonna show you how to do it." He's like, "I got a whole group of people. We don't work, we get money." People, polygamous. I forgot what that term. I didn't know what that meant. There was no chat GPT to ask. So I was like, I don't know what that word means, but he was like, it's when you have like a group, like you have like so if it, so you're in a relationship with multiple people, but it's accepted among the group. And I was like, okay, cool. He was like, you just add a girl to the group or add a guy to the group, and you're good. And he was like, the girls got like they got 2 or 3 guys, I got like 2 or 3 girls, and we all live together happily. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna show you how to get them, show you how to add them to my group. So long story short, I would hang out with them and stuff like that. They were cool people, whatever it is. Bullshit, this shit they were talking about. First, I was like, "You're blowing smoke up my ass, is coming up with shit." But no, they're alright. And I'm like, okay, cool. So one day we went to a bar, and then it was a separate bar, and then there was a bunch of pretty girls. And he told me one of the rules is when girls go out, there's always the fine one or the unicorn. So there's always the unicorn, there's the stallions, and then there's the, I forgot what he said, but pretty much he was saying there's the donkeys. So he was like, it's always like that. And he was like, and the way you can tell who the unicorn is because the horses are next to the unicorn, and the donkeys are the ones surrounding them, kind of like protecting them. And he was like, the idea is you send people to go to the
Memory, me, Jasmine, empty seat.
Yeah. And that's like the whole thing. So what they would do is if you can get the donkeys out of the way, you can get to the stallions, and then you might be able to get to the unicorn. and that's what he was saying. Like you try to piss off the. He was like, if you can piss, if you the unicorn. He's like, if you can piss, if you make the unicorn leave the flock because they are arguing. He's like, then you're okay. Because you can talk to your unicorn all day because they won't come back. He's like, but getting those other horses and the donkeys out of the way is the hardest thing. He's like, sometimes you just gotta take a horse. So that was always fun when
That
you were
is
saying that was
crazy
always
too.
funny to me. And I literally, he was right. He was like, literally, you can tell in the group. He's like, well, a bunch of girls go out. There's one really pretty one. There are some pretty. There's like one really pretty one. There's two pretty ones. And there's two. There's a couple okays. Or it's always a level. It's never like fine. It's never 10 fine girls. There's always like, but it really comes down to the person's perception of who the fine one is. So, yeah. So that was making me laugh when you said that, because that's about average when they come walking up and then like trying to trigger y'all to separate. And if you got you on your own, then he can come and talk to you by himself without worrying about the other chicks cock blocking or jumping in the way. Like, we're out
That's
here.
crazy as hell.
It's funny.
That's actually social
Yeah.
engineering. That's wild.
Yep. Because I was like, y'all be out there just trying to have fun, and then people be over here casing y'all.
Literally.
So that's why I be laughing. It's like, oh, here we go. As soon as y'all be talking to me, like, oh, here we go.
That is crazy as hell.
Yep. That's,
That's crazy as hell.
yep.
That's crazy as hell. That's crazy as hell. That is crazy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like that was situational because they didn't know each other. I was the middle one. I was the one that brought them together.
Talking about the girl,
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Thank you, Nora.
It don't matter. You could have been a bunch of random people or whatever it is that got together. It's still gonna separate based upon who they think the finest one is and if they can get to you or not. If they can't get to you, they're gonna take the second finest, and if they can't get to you, they're gonna take the third finest, and then the fourth one is just kind of SOL. Unless you got wingman.
That is crazy as hell. Okay. Oh, that's what I was doing. I'm researching because New Orleans got my mind going right now. Oh, New Orleans, you're here. Great, thank you. Um, okay. So here's what I just learned. The HDD is a magnetic disk system, and it spins as it writes data. It's a storage device, so it's attached by SATA cables. Excuse me. On the motherboard, there's this slot where there's like two L's. It looks like this. That's the SATA cable. The SATA cable connects either a hard disk drive, either a disk that spins, or a solid state drive that is just like a chip that stores data. And it's okay to be volatile versus non-volatile. Thank you, New Orleans. To be volatile versus non-volatile. So volatile means like every time you turn off your computer, you know how like when you go on, I don't even know this is if this is accurate to say, but if you go on Internet Explorer and then you push the X, it doesn't know what sites you went to. It didn't save that data. That's kind of like how RAM is. Every time you turn your computer off, it's a different, it's like a fresh version of itself that comes back up because it's random access memory. SSDs are actual things that you're saving, like files and things like that. So read and write storage, that's kind of what the HDDs and the HDDs and SSDs hold, but it's non-volatile, so it's not going to erase unless you go in there and delete something. You know what I'm saying? Is that what's up, Drip? And you don't know what the fuck is going on. You said, I promise I listen to every word you say. I felt that. Cool, great. So now we're gonna go back over here. So M dot two. Oh, wrong. You're using a remote.
Yeah, disconnected.
Oh, so he just got bright over here.
Yeah, that's what it's
Uh, M dot two is a small flat slot used for non-volatile memory expansions in solid state drives. Oh no, non-volatile memory expansion solid state drives and Wi-Fi cards. PCIe lanes are for high speed. Okay. Small flat slot used for NVMe and SSDs. DIMM is the dual inline memory module, and that wouldn't be it because it's used for RAM, for random access memory. What's for high speed? I'm trying so hard not to scroll up. If I knew, I think well SSDs. I know. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, PCIe. PCIe is for high speed. The PCIe lanes. So what I also just learned is that let's say there's a multitude of slots that have 24 pin connections, right? Or let's just random. All that means that it can slide into. So if you see if it has like a bunch of, if you see like a chip that has a bunch of lines on it, depending on how many lines are on the motherboard, you can just slide it in. Yeah, but if I knew what my options were, I didn't have nothing. I was trying to pull this out the air. If I had like a memory bank, I could say like, oh, it's that one, but I didn't have that option at that time because there was nothing in front of me that I could, go, just nothing in front of me. But yeah, Okay, so which motherboard connector typically supplies power to solid state drives and hard disk drives? Remember before, if it has anything to do with memory, it's going to be a SATA cable. So it would be the SATA power. The serial attachment something. Oh, thanks, Laura. What's up, Marcus? So question 5, which motherboard component is usually found as a 2 to 4 long vertical slots next to the CPU socket? The correct answer is the DIMM, the dual inline memory module. But what I was saying about those pins, so because it's two 4 long slots next to CPU pocket. So let's say it has 4 pins, right? If you have unless it has a, what's the word? I don't remember what it's called. It's like a lock. Dang, I can't remember. A key. Unless it has a key, like like you can only fit it in here if it fits like this or whatever. Like it has like a key. Kind of like how the power cords for PlayStation versus Xbox. One of them is rounded and the other one is square. You can shave off because it's the same amount of watts. You can shave it off and it'll fit. But you know what I'm saying? So it'll fit. You can force it to fit or it can fit. But if it's not a key like that, you can fit it to any device that that'll take it. And that's kind of how it is on the motherboard. There's a lot of interchangeable, like that's why PCIe is the fastest because you can put that in another slot. You don't have to use the PCIe for that. But if you want something with the fastest data transfer, you want to use the PCIe, if that makes sense. So you could put it over in the other slot, but it's not going to go as fast as the PCIe, if that makes sense. Is for remember the PCIe is for graphics processing unit slot. So it's for what is it? It's for game. What is it? Damn it! What? Not media cards. Well, damn. Is it? No. What's it called? Damn. This is gonna blow me. Graphics cards. What's up, Mister? You can type it if you can. You making it make sense. Oh, thanks, New Orleans. Drip, you understanding it? Cool beans. I can't do that right now. Can you type it? I have to ask, not type. I can't do that right now. It's about modding. I don't know anything about modding. Shit. Yeah, I don't know anything about modding. Talk about shit. I have a mini SNES. Well, bless you. A mini sneeze? Because I don't know what that is. What's up, King? Okay. Golly. Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Golly. Okay, what about it? Thought we were geeking out. Thought we were geeking out here. I ain't never heard no sneeze. I heard a Nintendo. Nintendo. Nintendo Entertainment. No. Sugar nostrils explaining science. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what that is. Okay, I'm the real geek out here. Sure as the hell are. What's up, Black Italian? Long time no see. Alright. So now that we're off, we just learned about hard disk drives. We learned about solid state drives. We learned about the different peripheral connectors on a motherboard. Now we're going to ask different random questions from the CompTIA A Plus so we can see if we can understand different terms. Let's do it. Okay, so you ready? If you guys want to see the questions in real time, you can look on my YouTube and follow along. Alright, so you ready? Alright, Misty, you ready? Italian, you ready? New Orleans, you ready? Moraine, you ready? Drip, you ready? Oh, you're watching Cooley High. Nice. So a technician needs to secure traffic between a user's web browser and a website. A technician needs to secure traffic between a user's web browser and a website. Which protocol should be used? Is it A, HTTP, B, HTTPS, C, FTP, or D, Telnet? If a technician needs to secure traffic between a user's web browser and a website, which protocol should be used? Is it HTTP A? Is it B, HTTPS? Is it C, FTP? Or is it D, Telnet? Thank you, New Orleans. What's up, Papa? Papa, you joining in? Alright, I got yours. I got yours. Alright. If you want to follow along in real time and read the questions, it's on YouTube. Alright. So which component on a laser printer is responsible for permanently bonding toner to the paper using heat? Which component on a laser printer is responsible for permanently bonding toner to the paper using heat? You gotta do 5 at a time. So this is number 2. Which component on a laser printer is responsible for permanently bonding toner to the paper using heat? Is it A, a transfer roller? Is it B, an imaging drum? Is it C, a fuser assembly? Or is it D, a pickup roller? Which component on a laser printer is responsible for bonding toner to the paper using heat? Is it A, a transfer roller? B, an imaging drum? C, a fuser assembly? Or D, a pickup roller? Alright, I see yours. Alright, cool beans. So a user wants to prevent unauthorized people from viewing data on a stolen laptop. A user wants to prevent unauthorized people from viewing data on a stolen laptop. Which method provides the best protection? Is it A, a strong password? B, screen timeout? C, a full disk encryption? Or D, antivirus software? A user wants to prevent an unauthorized person from viewing data on a stolen laptop. Which method provides the best protection? Is it A, a strong password? B, a screen timeout? C, a full disk encryption? Or D, antivirus software? Ooh, sheesh. I see yours. Alright. Alright, we only got 2 more. Which cloud model provides shared online services such as email and file storage to the general public over the internet? Which cloud model provides shared online services such as email and file storage, to the general public over the internet? Is it A, a private cloud, B, a hybrid cloud, C, a public cloud, or D, a community cloud? Which cloud model provides shared online services such as email and file storage to the general public over the internet? Is it A, a private cloud, B, a hybrid cloud, C, a public cloud, or D, a community cloud? What's up, Haitian? Alright, last one. Which Windows tool would most likely be used to stop a program that's frozen and no longer responding? Which Windows tool would most likely be used to stop a program that is frozen and no longer responding? Is it A, Device Manager, B, Task Manager, C, Services, or D, Event Viewer? Which Windows tool most likely would be used to stop a program that is frozen and no longer responding? Is it A, Device Manager, B, Task Manager, C, Services, or D, Event Viewer? Nice. Let's see what the answers are. Okay, so the first question. A technician needs to secure traffic between a user's web browser and a website. Which protocol should be used? The answer, HTTPS. So HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. The difference between HTTP and HTTPS is that HTTPS is secure. So it makes sure that the traffic going to and fro is secure. That's why HTTP wouldn't be the answer, because the question asks for which technician needs to secure, or a technician needs to secure traffic. If it just said it needed to establish traffic, then it would have been HTTP, because we don't care about it being secure. So FTP, what letter was that answer? That letter was B, HTTPS. So the options were A, HTTP. That's probably where you got it confused. B, HTTPS. C was FTP, which is File Transfer Protocol, or D was Telnet. Excuse me. Oh, thanks, New Orleans. What's up, AJ? So the next one, which component on a laser printer permanently bonds toner to paper without you? Excuse me, toner to paper using heat. Is it a transfer roller, which is A? Is it B, an imaging drum? Is it C, a fuser assembly? Or is it D, a pickup roller? The answer is a fuser assembly. So the fuser is what you use to fuse something. You use heat and pressure to get it to stick together. So the fuser assembly is what what's the name of the shit? A laser printer uses. It permanently melts the toner onto the paper. So a transfer roller transfers the toner onto paper. It doesn't melt it like a fuser does. An imaging drum creates the toner image. It doesn't fuse it. And a pickup roller pulls the paper into the printer. It has nothing to do with actually putting the ink to the paper. What's up, Nate? Long time no see. And then the next one, which is the best protection if a laptop is stolen? And the answer is C, a full disk encryption. So a full disk encryption would encrypt all the will encrypt all the drive data. It prevents unauthorized access even if the device is stolen. So you typically use BitLocker or a file vault to fully encrypt your drive data. A strong password can still remove the drive access information. If your screen is timed out, it only locks temporarily. And antivirus protects against malware, not against theft. Hey Ronnie, I've been chilling. What you been up to? Hey Nate, how are you? Alright, last one. Shared online services available publicly over the internet. Is it A, a private cloud, B, a hybrid cloud, C, a public cloud, or D, a community cloud? The answer is public cloud. It's C. So a private cloud is an internal company-only cloud. B was a hybrid cloud, which is a mix of public and private. D, a community cloud, is shared among organizations with common goal. So the only open shared internet cloud is a public cloud. So which Windows tool is used to stop frozen programs? The answer is B, Task Manager. The options were A, Device Manager, B, Task Manager, C, Services, or D, Event Viewer. So the answer was B, Task Manager. So when you open up Task Manager, you click Control Alt Delete on your computer, on your laptop, computer, whatever, and it's going to ask you what would you like to do. You're going to go to Task Manager. Task Manager allows you to see how many programs are open or running or using up any type of processing power, storage, things of that nature on the computer. RAM on the computer. And you can end the tasks that are frozen from the Task Manager. It monitors your processes. Processes. It says it's either Control Alt Delete, or in some cases it's Control Shift Escape. So a device manager checks on the hardware and device configurations, not open programs. Services manages background services, not necessarily the programs. And then Event Viewer shows the logs and errors, and it doesn't terminate apps. You got 2 of them right? That's what's up. I got all 5 this time. This is to take a brief intermission.
Oh, don't you come over here.